Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I cut myself, so I'm like just trying to figure out how I cut myself because I don't whatever. This video is going to be like the part 2 of the astral projection videos, but it's also going to kind of be like a trip report because this particular astral projection happened to me while I was on psilocybin mushrooms, which was kind of weird. Let's just get right into the story. So this happened when I was like 20 years old. It was one of my homeboys' birthday, so he had never done shrooms before, so I was like, bet, like, I'm gonna get you shroomed out, bro. So he was like, bet, I'm down. We took the shrooms. We took about 2 grams each. There were Cali gold caps, I think, super potent. You know, I had known already what to expect because I had shroomed before. However, he hadn't, so he didn't really know what he was gonna feel or what to expect. He was a stoner, like he was a pothead, but you know, this is not that. This is a completely different situation. We take the shrooms. Our plan was to watch Alice in Wonderland, like the original Alice in Wonderland, and you know, just trip, whatever, get wavy, get groovy and shit. We're sitting on like this L couch that I had in my living room. So it was like a couch that like goes like that, and then there's another one that goes like that, and then there was like the fireplace, and then the TV was like over the fireplace, and then next on the left side of the TV was this china cabinet that we had that I will probably refer to as a dresser more than once in this video because I always call it a dresser, but it was a china cabinet. Whatever, dude. We take the shrooms, we're sitting there, we're trying to watch Alice in Wonderland. Bad idea. I'm gonna tell you why it was a bad idea. It was a terrible idea because that whole little walrus and the carpenter situation with the clams, and they're like little girl clams, and then like the walrus is like a grown-ass walrus man. Bro, that really like almost sent me into a bad trip because I had watched a lot of shit when I was younger about like conspiracies about Walt Disney. Shout out to you, player. These are not shots taken at you. I love Disney movies. Hakuna Matata all day, baby. Hakuna Matata. Anyways, but yeah, I had seen like weird videos about how he's like weird, and there's a lot of subliminal shit in Disney movies, which there are. But it's probably not good that I knew that and I had that knowledge already watching Alice in Wonderland while I was on psilocybin mushrooms. So I almost went a little bit bad when the whole walrus and the carpenter thing came on, and he was like luring the little girl clams to go with him. Like, oh God, I was like, dude, my shrooms are hitting me, and I was like, oh no, like, I don't want to see this, dude, because it was not good. Like, I was like, this is weird. This is really weird. Like, that's weird. Do you see this shit? Like, that is not good, you know? So I ended up having to like focus my attention on something else while that part was playing. My shroom started peaking, and I remember, I don't know what part it was, but it was like Tweedledee and Tweedledum. And they were just right there, and I was trying to look at the TV to see shit in the TV, but it was not. Every time I would look at the TV, like everything inside of the television looked normal. Like my trip was not happening inside of the TV, but everything around it, like the bricks and the walls behind the TV were like, and then it would get these like almost like hieroglyphs, like that would like start patterning down across it, but then as they're patterning across it, like it would disappear behind the pattern. Really weird, typical psilocybin, you know, psychedelic shit. And so I'm like, all right, cool. Now, one thing about me when I do psychedelics, I tend to get really quiet. I sit crisscross applesauce, and I'll just kind of like mind my business. I just mind my business, and I just enjoy my trip. But I don't socialize really until after like the peak has come down and my visuals are kind of like fading away. And then I'll start talking and laughing and stuff. Anyways, I'm looking at the TV. I'm trying to, you know, see some stuff in the TV. It's not happening for me. However, the dresser or the china cabinet that's next to the TV is like tripping me. It's like doing the craziest stuff, dude. So the dresser was, or the china cabinet was brown. And so as I'm watching the TV, I kept seeing the dresser start changing colors. It would start changing from like blue to like purple to red, and then pink, and then yellow, and then like little patterns would start from the corner and like like trickle their way down and then disappear, and then the dresser would look like it's wet, like someone painted gloss all over it, and then it would like look wet and shiny, and then would like dry up and then look like matte again. It was the craziest thing. And so I'm like looking at this dresser, dude, and my boy is sitting on the couch next to me, so I could kind of see him right there, and then like the dresser's right there, or the china cabinet. And so like I'm looking at it and I'm like, yeah, like that's cool. And so I'm looking at him and I'm like, hey dude. And he's sitting there and he's just chilling, watching the Alice in Wonderland movie. And he turns to me and he's like, what's up? And I was like, look at the dresser. And so he looks at the china cabinet and he like looks back at me and he's like, what? And so I knew at that point, I was like, okay, so they haven't hit him yet, And so I was like, never mind, nothing. Because, he's obviously not going to know what the fuck I'm talking about until he sees it. Eventually, like, we start peeking. He starts peeking, and he's, like, getting up, sitting down, and I'm just chilling, bro. Like, I'm just cooling right there on the couch, crisscross applesauce, blown away by the visuals I was getting. It was almost like there was, like, these sheets that were in my peripheral vision. So every time I would turn my head this way, like, this sheet would come down with, like, all these crazy geometric designs, and they were all like pastel colors. It reminded me of Easter because it was like yellows and oranges and like soft like pinkish colors and like maybe some greens, but there was not blues and there was not purples, I remembered. And it would come down like, and then so I would be like, oh, and then I would look over there, and then another one would come down on, when I would turn my head this way, it would come down this way and be like all these patterns, and I'm like, whoa, like that's so cool, whatever. So I'm just enjoying my experience. And so my boy Swerve is like, I could tell that he kind of is a little bit overwhelmed. He doesn't really know what to do with himself because he keeps getting up and sitting down and getting up and sitting down, the walking in circles and putting his hand on his head. And it was funny because he looked really, really, really orange. Like he looked like he had a ridiculously fake tan that was terrible, or like a Oompa Loompa, dude. And so like I would look at him and I'll be like, like I'll start laughing. He'll be like, what are you laughing at? And I'm like, it's because you look really tan right now. And I kept telling him, we're both like super light skinned. He's Mexican too, but he's super pale like me. And so like I was like, just like minding my business right there, like just giggling and shit because it was so funny. Anyways, we had this bird, dude. So okay, at that time, one of our friends had gone on vacation. We were bird sitting. So she had this fucking big ass, I don't know what it's called, like a cockatoo, whatever, but that motherfucker was big. He was big and he was mean, and his name was Simba. And he was white with yellow. And so this dude was in the cage in the corner of the living room, right? And he would scream, oh my God, he would scream, bro, like so loud that I live across the street from like a shopping center. You could be in that shopping center and hear him fucking screaming. Like that's how loud it was. That's how loud he was. So anyways, I'm like full blown peeking, right? Swerve is like just like walking around the kitchen, coming back, sitting down, whatever. He's doing his thing. And everybody in the house was afraid of this bird because birds are mean, number one, and birds are crazy, number two. So I'm looking at this dude and he's just like, like doing his little thing. And I'm like, cool, he starts to open, he tries to open the cage with his beak, like because the little lever like goes up and then slides out. Bruh, tell me why he opened the fucking lever and like got the door to the cage open, and all while I'm sitting on the couch like just watching him. So he opens the cage, dude, and like pulls himself out. Like, okay, these birds are big and they have huge beaks, like they could easily take off one of your fingers, easily. He like uses his beak to like climb out of the cage, and I'm like shroomed out. I'm sitting here on the couch like watching him, and I'm like paralyzed in fear because I'm fucking scared of this bird, dude. But so then I start talking to myself, and I'm like, no, like, you know what, just calm down because I'm an animal lover, and he's gonna feel that I'm an animal lover, and he's gonna understand and feel my vibes that I'm good. And so he's not gonna be mean to me, and he's not gonna attack me because he's gonna feel good vibes coming from me. So I'm like trying to convince myself to just stay in the state of mind, so I don't get scared. And like he was like crawling on the cage, dude, and then at one point he like jumped down. He like jumped down from the cage onto the floor, and I was like, dude, we made eye contact. And when we made eye contact, I was like paralyzed in fear, and I was just sitting there, and I was like, please don't come over here. Please don't come over here. And as I'm thinking that, this dude fucking puts all his feathers out, like his little head feathers, and he's like, "Mah!" And so he starts like jumping towards me, and he's like, "Mah, mah," and he has all his feathers up, and I was like, please. And like, dude, I like got up and jumped over the couch, and then so I think I like ate shit, dude. Like I jumped over the couch. But when I'm on mushrooms, I get like the noodle legs, and my basic motor functioning skills and my coordination skills are no longer there. So I like try to jump over the couch, and I'm like, like, and I fall, and then like I pop my head over the couch. And Swerve comes out of the kitchen, and he looks at me, and I could see he's tripping. And so he's like looking around like, what's going on? And I was like, dude, the bird's out. Like he got out, he opened the door. And so he just left. Swerve just left. He was like, oh, we not doing that. Not today, player. So I'm like, okay, I gotta get this dude back in the cage, because I'm not about to have my whole trip be ruined from this fucking bird. I think my nephew had came over, and so he was like, oh, like, I'll get him, don't worry. So he gets the bird, puts the bird back in the cage. Swerve comes back in the room. So Swerve ends up coming back into the living room, and he sits back down on the couch. I'm back on my side of the couch. And this is where the astral projection story starts. So he was like, he wanted to go to the store. He wanted to walk to the store. And I was like, dude, I'm kind of like a little fucked up right now. I don't know if I could walk to the store. Give me like 15, 20 minutes, and I'll gather my, get my life together, and I'll walk with you to the store. And he's like, all right, bet. So he's watching the TV, and I'm trying to get my life together. You know, I'm trying to get myself pumped up. Like, yeah, I'm going to the store. Like, we're going to walk around. And it was the craziest thing, dude. And you know, I don't think that I told him that this had happened during that trip. But I remember he was sitting on the couch, and I turned to look at him after like 15, 20 minutes, and I turned to tell him like, hey, I'm ready to go if you're ready to go. And when I turned to look at him to my left, I like thought it, but I don't think I said it verbally out loud. But I was like, hey, whenever you're ready to go, I'm ready to go. And as I proceed to get up off of the couch, because dude, I hadn't moved off the couch since I jumped over the couch and ate shit from the bird. So I like the whole time I was just sitting on the couch just chilling. So I'm like, okay, you know, whenever you're ready, I'm ready, like, let's go. And as I went to go get up, it was really weird. Like I went to go get up, and then it felt like I got like zoop, like I like sucked out of the couch, and I was standing by the hallway, like ready to leave, go through the kitchen and leave outside. And once I got sucked out and I was like over to the hallway, I turned back, and I turned back, and I looked at him to tell him like, come on, dude, let's go. But when I turned back to look at him, I noticed that I was still there, that I was still sitting on the couch where I was. And so when that happened, like I'm looking, and then I was like, oh shit, I done did it again. And so I looked down to see if I had hands, because for whatever reason, when I astral project, like I have no limbs, like I have no body. It's weird. And so I remember I looked down at my hands, and I could feel my arms, I could feel my hands like go up like this, but I couldn't see anything. There was nothing there. And so I was like, shit, fucking left my body again. And so I went back, zoof, I went back, and I was back on the couch. And I remember looking at Swerve, but I could see that his pupils were so dilated. He was so like, he was peaking at this point. And I was just like, I'm not even gonna try to explain what just happened to me right now, dude. So I ended up telling him like, hey, if you're ready, I'm ready, and we could go to the store if you want to still. And he ended up not wanting to go to the store anymore, probably because he was tripping. Sorry, notification. And then, yeah, that was crazy. That was the only time that I've had an experience like that while under the influence of anything. Because the majority of my astral projections, dude, they all happen when I'm sober, like completely sober, like not high, drunk, anything. I mean, I don't really like to drink, and I don't even really smoke weed anymore. I don't do anything anymore. But yeah, the majority of the times that it happened, it would happen when I was sober. So that was like the one time that it happened. Well, no, it's happened to me in the daytime too. I was gonna say that one time it's happened to me in the daytime, but no, I've had other experiences where it's happened to me during the day, like in the middle of the day. But A, it happened in the middle of the day. B, it happened while I was under the influence of psychedelics, which is really weird and kind of crazy because it happened so fast too. And you know what? Another thing that I noticed, I didn't get like all those symptoms that I usually get in a normal astral projection. A normal astral projection, okay, because that's normal, Nalani. No, it's not. So, but yeah, because I just remember looking at him and telling him in my head, like, hey, I'm ready to go whenever you're ready to go so we could go to the store. And as I go to get up, it just whoop, sucked me over there. Like, it was the craziest thing. I didn't get the paralysis. I didn't get any of the things that usually happen to me when I have like an astral projection. So that was really weird. And I wonder why that happened that way. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure the psychedelics had something to do with it. So sorry, phone died. But yeah, so that was my part 2 of my astral projection series, and a little bit of a psilocybin trip report for you guys. You know, gotta spice things up a little bit. And I'll see you guys in the next video. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe. You know the fucking deal. Or not. If you don't like me, don't watch shit. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.